Good morning, YouTubers. Good morning. Good morning. I'm actually on the way now to an inspection for a client of mine. So we put in an offer on Sunday. It was accepted on Sunday, and we actually opened up escrow on Monday. So you got to move pretty quick whenever it comes time to schedule these inspections and schedule the appraisals and stuff like that. This one is a cash buy, so we had to get things moving. Friday was the earliest we can do, so now we're heading over there to do the inspection. I just want to take you guys along because I want you to see some of the things that the inspectors identify. Hopefully I can actually get the inspector to allow me to video. I won't get him in the video, her in the video. I won't get my client in the video, any of that stuff. So if he allows me to, that'll be why you're seeing this video. If not, you'll never see the video. So yeah. All right, folks, pulling up to the house. So the inspector is here. All right, so we'll see what happens, really. I'll let y'all know. All right, so this is what typically happens when you as a realtor schedule a home inspection, or if you as a client schedule a home inspection. Don't expect to be there for the whole entire inspection. What usually happens is you'll actually slow down the inspector. So maybe for this home, we're looking at like maybe 2 to 2.5 hour time frame. But if you're there and you're asking questions and following them around and interfering with things like that, what's going to happen is now it's going to take 3.5 to 4 hours. So you do want to allow them time to do their job. So this one was scheduled for 9 o'clock. Seemed a little weird, but I came up here anyway because everybody's saying 9 o'clock and to come up here and whatever else. So I came up here at 9. The inspector just said, yeah, you know, that's a typical time, 9 o'clock, but we'll meet back up at 11:30 or so. Okay, so now I'm here at 9 o'clock. Let my client know, you know, we're going to meet at 11:30, and then we'll come back and go through. This inspector was actually pretty cool and is going to let us do a walkthrough. So you'll see a little bit of that later on. I'll show you what's up.
I won't, if the house is occupied, I don't test the GFCIs or the AFCIs because they are attached to TVs, computers. Your wife would be very irritated with me.
And it's all connected right now.
Yeah, so, and then I will just make sure that everything's labeled properly.
Okay.
Okay. And then you can also see on this box that the plumbing in the house is non-metallic. So in other words, it is plastic plumbing. So I know that you don't have a water bond. And then once we get into the box, we can make sure that everything was done properly. Quiet tight was on there, good. Looking here, this electrician was very clean. You can see that your boxes, your panels bonded here. It is bonded by a U-for bond. In other words, this goes down into your concrete and is tied off to a piece of rebar. And it is also bonded at your gas. So the house is well grounded, okay? And then we can also see that your branch wiring is copper instead of aluminum. Branch wiring means it's a solid wire. Our stranded wire can be legally in Arizona, can be aluminum, and then they put the anti-corrosion stuff on there. I always make sure that they do that too, because aluminum likes to corrode in weather. That's pretty much the interior of your box. Since it cracks or breaks between windows, because water can get in, make sure that your stuff is all attached properly. Looking for cracks. Even though it's a new house, I still look for termites. I can put evidence of, I just can't give you a report for it because I'm not licensed to do that quite yet. Okay, that stops there. One thing you'll find in new houses too is corner cracks off of doors and windows are very, very common.
Okay.
Even on the interior of homes, because the house it's on a post-tension slab, which means it's all moves together, but because it moves, everything's going to kind of try to stay in one place or try to move away from each other. So right where the weakest points are is where the walls will kind of either at exterior or in the interior. They'll probably call me an idiot, but I would want that. You see all that junk down below the weak street? That needs to come off of there, and then they need to repaint it, in my opinion. So I'll write that up. It's kind of an eyesore, in my opinion. So the way I look at it is if it's a new home, you really should. This is what you call a swiggle. And it's a weird word, but when that starts to pull away or it breaks the seal, this fogging or rainbowing will happen inside a window because it's allowed the gases to come out and moisture to get into the window. So that's why it's fogging up like that. So you can take a jigsaw and get a jigsaw in there without having to drill a hole. These are what they call modular boxes. These aren't custom, so they're made to kind of be easy to install. That was done wrong. It was cut too far over. So what they could do is cut the escutcheon plate off and put what they call a remodel escutcheon plate on it. It actually comes apart, and they've got bigger ones that they could put around it.
Okay.
So they can actually fix that. I can write that up if you want. Now, there again, they didn't do a very good job. They tape and mud it, but then when their sanders come back in, they don't float it out enough. And so that's why it shows a hump.
In every room,
Yes.
pretty much. Yeah.
Right.
And even that sink over there.
Yeah, and then you've got little spots. Yeah, and then you've got spots like this right here, where they may have had to repair something. I don't know. I'm not saying they did, but that's kind of what it looks like.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm guessing what they did because I wasn't in here when they did the ceiling, but I'm sorry. This was really poor workmanship up there. That was just. They left the tape there when they went to sand it. You kind of see it there.
Yeah.
Now you can see it better.
Oh, I already pointed that out to them.
Yeah.
Before we moved in.
That there is basically just bad paint job. They cut the corners in and they didn't roll it over or spray it over to that. If you were to take, I don't know if you can really see it that well. You could probably see it better without the flashlight.
Yep.
All the seams are not sanded down very well. They're heavy texture in certain areas and not as heavy in others, so it really accentuates the seams. And you're getting light off the back of the house, so you see every seam. I mean, you could walk to the front of the house and see every seam in this interior of this home. Yeah.
All right, so hopefully that gives you a pretty good understanding of how an inspector will go through your home. Obviously, this isn't everything because it would take 2.5 to 3 hours. The size of my home, it actually takes about 3 to 3.5 hours per the inspector's time frame. There is one that I went to prior to, and I actually did a video of us discussing what he was talking about on the computer. So that's another portion of it. Everything that they go through and they point out in your inspection, if you happen to do the walkthrough with them. For me, he was just getting started. That is my home. I didn't want to put the client's home on there. So I did my own, and yes, I had to pay for the inspection, but I needed it anyway. So this is good information for if you have a new build, because my home is a new build, and there will be some things that come up on the inspection that you actually want to have corrected. So one of my inspection items or key items was the window sill. Something is broken in the front window sill, so the E energy efficient piece of it is not working, and now that there's air coming inside of the window, there's actually like a film or a hazy rainbow kind of film on it. So they were able to point that out, and I'll bring that up to the inspector. I mean, not the inspector, but to the builder, we have the 30-day check, and then there's a 1-year check. So I can wait for the 1-year check, or I can have them just do it now. I'm actually going to have them do it now because I've already been in communication. So I will end this video shortly, but I want to actually include the portion where he's going over the computer as well. So if you want to watch that part of the video, feel free to do so. But I really want to bring light to what inspectors do, because they have a really hard job and it takes them a long time to do so. And what I have in here, like I said, it's only a small part of it. Okay, so I didn't put the whole inspection in there for you. Maybe if we get good feedback on this, I could do something like that. But hit the like button, subscribe, and then I'll also put down in the bottom, I'll put down the link for the individual that I used. And you're more than welcome to use anybody you want. This isn't an endorsement. It's none of that. But you can use anybody you'd like. Google a person, refer a friend, whatever. All right. Love you guys.
Was good on there.
And the breakers aren't loose.
No, they are not. That you have 3 spots of grounding. You have on your water, your gas, and it's grounded in the panel. Okay. That your branch wiring is copper and it's done properly. That they're not overstripped. That they're not exposed, and that it's very clean inside your box. Okay. So yeah, you can go through and look. Well, plumbing is right at where it should be at 80 pounds. You've got a 40-gallon water heater. This is your shutoff to the house. This is the one you're always going to want to use. Say you want to change a toilet, you turn that one off. Don't go out to the city, maybe.
Yes. That would be the first one I would go to.
Yeah. This is your drain. Okay. So one clean out is for in the house, and one clean out's for out the street. Yeah, so you know all this stuff. So anyways.
And the flue was good on
the flue was good. All the screws are there. Your collar cap is secured properly.
And it vents out. Right?
And it vents out to the lid. Okay. It's up to you.
Okay.
Red would be a hazard. You need to get it fixed. Didn't have any of those.
Orange is
just probably should have it at least looked at or have it reviewed. Okay. Yes. Okay. So there's your broken window. We got that in there. Okay. So the broken tiles. Okay, so we'll click on this one. So there's just a few up there. This one you can see the underlayment. Okay. You can see that it's broken off, and this is a ridge tile. Okay. So that tile probably should be replaced. These ones are broken up high enough to where they're going to probably let water through. Come on. These ones here really aren't that bad. You can see that the tile is still overlapping it underneath, and same with this one here. I just thought,
bring it to your attention.
Bring it to your attention. Okay. So that being said, that's pretty much those. There's a few slip tiles you can see. Well, my arrow's in the way, but you can see the edge here, then the edge here. Right up here is one of these. See this hole right here? There's a nail hole, and so what's happening is if that doesn't get shoved up underneath, the water kind of drips through there. So if you can get a roofer up there just to kind of push that up and maybe glue it in, because they can lift that up and put a little glue underneath it. Okay. And then here, come on, why are you not working? You can see this tile has fallen away. This is on an edge, so I think this is the garage door right here. And then you have the turret. You can see the cracks. The easy fixes. I mean, if you're good with heights and you can get on a roof, all you have to do is take some silicone or some tar mastic, or even the mortar stuff, if you can mix it up and just kind of fill in those cracks. Because that's all that you can see where someone's done that here, but it's cracked now down on this side. So. Just a couple here. This one has pieces broken off of it. These ones are loose a little bit, and this one's got a good sized crack on this side. So it's just a matter of just, you can't really see that.
I can see it.
Okay, so that's out. The screen door on the back door is missing. I didn't see it anywhere in the house, so it probably got damaged and they just tossed it out in bulk. Okay.
That's coming out.
Okay, then we won't even worry about it, but it's in there. Anything in Arizona, if it's wood, exposed wood, or even if you see columns, they need to at least be an inch off the ground. Yep. Okay. Whether it's concrete or okay. Section 4, and we kind of showed you this. You can kind of see with that gray area.
Yeah.
So this wall, and I pushed on it. It's not going to fall over, and then you can kind of see where this one's kind of went with it a little bit. So if your concrete guy's going to come up, he can kind of shore it up or whatever and take care of it for you. I got some videos for you. I tested your sprinkler system, and we got some geysers. See it?
Yeah.
That's out in the front in that corner over there. And then, let's see, let's go back. And then one over by the tree, over on the other side of the driveway, is just shooting water out of it also. So, and then it isn't a big deal, but you have, if you're
Well, we're gonna be planting.
which is fine, but it needs heads put on it. So it's water, I believe we can see it through this window right here. It's actually the cap block and the post block is loose. You can see the gap here. You can actually move it. Okay. But there again, it can be fixed.
Yes.
Okay. Easy, easy, easy. Your sprinkler control box is right here. You can see that the conduit is not attached there or there. The problem with it is that means that conduit piece is short. Easy fix, an electrician can come out, but if somebody yanks on it real hard, it's gonna pull the wires out of that control box.
So I would need to have my electrician come out?
I would do that, or if you're handy, you know, it's just a matter of taking a piece that's long enough for your flexible conduit and reattaching your connectors on both ends. One in the main breaker box and one in the control panel. Okay. Vegetation touching. You don't ever want it touching the house or a fence. One reason is you see that cap block? It's shoving that cap block over. Okay.
That's on this wall over here?
That's on this wall
Oh,
over
all
here.
of those
All
are
the
gonna be
whole
gone.
along this wall. Yep.
That's all coming out.
Okay. Yeah, and then this is the other portion right here. So, all right. But I'd say
We're
pretty much
painting the
still.
whole house
Yeah.
anyway, so.
Yeah. Okay. There again, you're replacing the floor. This is in the master. There's chip floor. This is that laminate vinyl flooring. There's some breaks there. On your bamboo floor, which I'm calling bamboo, I think it's bamboo. You got a burn mark like somebody was smoking in the house, and dropped an ash on the floor, and then you got that bare spot on the floor over there. Okay. Behind one of the doors, kind of every door needs it, but one of them had like blue paint on it.
We're gonna paint all the doors.
So.
The ones that can be kept.
Yes, your bypass. There's supposed to be a floor guide here. Those are
They didn't put it back
They
when
did
they
not
did
put
the
them back when
flooring.
they did the flooring. And this one is quite high off the ground, so you'll probably have to figure out maybe putting some kind of a decorative block underneath it. Okay. Bypass doors rub in bedroom 3. So if we go master 1, 2, and 3, the doors rub on each other,
Those are
so you
coming
can
off
kind of
anyway.
see. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. But it's in the report. Tub in the master bath. The drain stop is actually sitting there, and I tried to screw it in, but it won't attach. So I put as it's just missing to replace it. Bottom board in the master bath. Can you see that? It's kind of cracked right there. Now it's solid, but it looks like there was a good leak that stayed there for some time, and then you can see little bubbles there. It's not going to fall through. It's solid. I'm just monitoring it, make sure that it doesn't.